Hey everybody, Colin Plume, CEO Noble Gold Investments. Got Josh Ward here. We're Senior Sales Associate Noble Gold. And we started this. We're going to start talking about the silver supply. Is it really scarce, or is this a temporary constraint on the supply? But of course, as we started right before we got on, then we started getting very excited about platinum too. So I guess we're going to throw in platinum. It doesn't matter. We can do whatever we want on the show. We decide what we do. So we're going to talk a little bit about both. But let's just get into silver. Initially, we've been talking a lot about silver, and I think 6 months ago we were just saying, what's going on with silver? Why is it going to catch up? Silver bugs were a lot of sad faces, a lot of down negative emojis were, I was getting texted.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had clients call and say, what's going on? We've seen gold go up $1,000 in the last year.
Yeah,
Silver's holding on. And that's not the case anymore. Right. Silver's broken out, and we're pushing $39 today. And just this year, it's up just under 30% year to date so far, and we're only 6 months in.
30% for silver year to. No, I thought it was a little more. 32%.
No, so silver is at 30. Or excuse me, yes, you're right. 32% year to date.
Yes.
And platinum is at 52%.
52% increase. And do you think it's because we've been talking about it, or do you think there's actually supply?
I think part of it's, the two of us shining the light on it and people finally coming to their senses. But I think the other part of it is platinum's been so undervalued for so long, and it's been in a deficit. Same thing with silver. I mean, this marks the 5th year in a row that there is a deficit in the mining of silver, which is huge, right? So we're not mining enough.
And silver's, the mining hasn't grown too.
Yes.
It has grown, but it's not keeping up.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at, the shortage is about close to 150 million ounces of silver that's shortage
annually.
And mine production has gone up to 3%. So it's going up, but they just can't keep up with the demand.
That's it. I mean, it's 20% of every ounce of silver that gets pulled out of the ground is used in solar panels, just gone. So a fifth of the entire supply every year. And analysts expect that to grow, right? By 2030, it's probably going to be more like 30, maybe even 40% going towards solar panels. So, I mean, that really could drive a lot of new movement in the price of silver, with silver hitting at 13, 14-year highs today.
Yeah. $38 and some change. A lot of aftermarket movement. I don't know if you've been watching that. I've been seeing a lot of, we're coming in today, just a lot of movement that people are not expecting. You're getting back to the days where silver's up $1. You wake up, silver's up $1.
Sometimes you don't have to wake up. I mean, I was looking last night at the market in Asia, and gold doesn't just trade Monday through Friday, right? It opens on Sunday night, and it's closed on Saturday. So the price of silver was up 50, almost 75 cents last night.
Right.
When I was looking at before I went to bed, and then today we have silver down a little bit. So we're seeing big moves with silver, a lot of excitement, a lot of renewed interest in the media. We're starting to hear about it on the news. We're starting to hear about it on places like CNBC.
Yeah.
And it's exciting.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because when I wrote the book, released in December, gold was on a historic run.
Yep.
And, people were saying, why didn't you write this book about gold? That's what they were asking me. And I said, well, you're right. Maybe I should write a book about gold. But the bigger picture question was, I have data to believe that silver is going to go on a historic run. And I think we're seeing that now. And my book's still, trading in the top 30 on Amazon for commodities. And I think it's because I'm the only book that really focused on silver. Yeah. Everyone, the case for gold and the gold standard and everything going on. I think people forgot about silver. I mean, we had more silver here in the U.S. I know during World War II, we lent it to the Allies. It's heavily used in military. And then when we started doing the Silver Eagle again, we used all the silver we had pretty much.
Yeah, our strategic stockpile of silver. In fact, they even made 10-ounce bars, which are very similar to these ones that we have in front of us now,
Mm-hmm.
that were made out of silver of the strategic stockpile,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty cool. So I'll have to bring one of those in next time.
You got one of those?
Yeah, I got
You got one of those? Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
From the 80s, I believe, from the early 80s.
Yeah, we brought out some silver stuff here. What do you got? What kind of silver stuff you got there?
So we just show the 10-ounce bars. We have a kilo bar, which is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So this is 1,000 grams. It's about, I'd say about the size of a cell phone, about an iPhone.
Yeah.
And this is 32.15 ounces right here. And then we have a 500-gram gold bar, which is, or silver bar, excuse me.
Gold
yeah,
bar.
I know, right? It's a silver bar. I wish it was gold. A silver bar, which is a half a kilo, which is pretty neat.
Yeah.
And then we have the little 100-grammer, which is a little over 3 ounces. And then we have a nice little 1 ounce guy.
So you got some bars there. Yeah. People always ask me, should I buy a bar? Should I buy a Silver Eagle? Yeah. I got some here. I got some Maple Leafs here.
Yeah, Maples are
with the Queen.
Yes. Let's not show that side. Let's show the other side here with the
nobody likes the
with
Queen.
With the beautiful Maple Leaf. Yeah, this is
she's passed away now. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, and on the new ones now, something interesting. So this is from 2012. So the new ones, the 2025s and on, have the King now.
Yeah, the King.
They're no longer the Queen.
Yeah. Yeah, here's one I left out. It oxidizes. It's still worth a lot. It's still worth. This is an oxidized silver, 10-ounce silver bar, flag bar, and this kind of shows if you don't keep it in the package, what can happen.
Well, silver tarnishes, right? I mean, that's how it is. Silver tarnishes.
Yeah.
So it's natural. So you want to keep your precious metals in a low humidity area, not in the sun. So if you keep your metals in a high humidity area and exposed to sun, this is kind of what happens, but it doesn't affect the value or the silver.
I had that one laying by my pool. Is that a bad idea?
You know what?
You probably don't want to have your silver flag bar by the pool.
It's not gonna kill it, but yeah, when you're trading or bartering with this, you're gonna want it to be in nice shape, right?
People want to see it in nice condition. Exactly. But that being said, it's still worth the silver content. Maybe someone pays you a few bucks more if it looks great, but sure. That being said, they're still going to go based on the silver.
And this is the difference between a 10-ounce bar here, much thinner, and a kilo bar here.
Yeah.
Much thicker.
Right, let's put it
right about the size of a cell phone, almost identical.
We sold a lot of kilos.
Yeah, no, that's one of the more popular. So this is one of the lowest premium options to buy silver, right? You're not buying it based off a government mint. You're not buying it based off how many they made. You're buying it purely off the silver content in this bar.
Yeah, exactly. Since you've been doing this, you've been collecting, owning. What have you seen, in terms of silver demand over the last 10, 15 years?
Yes. So I've been following silver pretty much daily since 2010. So it's been right about 15 years that I'm following it daily.
Yeah.
And I remember I was in college at the time, and the price of silver went from $12, $15 to $50 in about 6 months.
Yeah. And
this was 2011. And since then, I've been kind of coined as a silver bug. I've always loved silver, and I feel like it's one of the best assets that you can hold, and one of the only undervalued assets today. When you look at real estate, you look at everything else, everything's trading at an all-time high except silver. So,
and I think the nice thing for liquidity purposes, these 1 ounce ones that I have in here, like if you only need a few $100 or 500 or 1,000, you have that liquidity.
Yes.
And it's fast. You can get cash, that day if you need to. So I think it's nice to have those kind of opportunities as you need it in your life, because I think as people realize careers change, retirement changes, you may need more money one year, you may need less money another year. To have that kind of flexibility with silver as an asset that you own, I think is really important. Now, I think most people are trying not to sell right now because they know that we're on a bull run and they want to keep the gains. But that being said, we have clients that bought silver from us at $12,
12 to 15, and they're selling it now at $40 plus.
Yeah, so they're happy with the returns, and sometimes you got to sell and do what you got to do at that time. So having that flexibility, but I think since I started doing this in 2008, no one was talking about solar panels, no one was talking about EV.
AI chips,
AI radar systems. We're using silver, but not to the extent they are now. Drones. So you just think about computers, cell phones. I mean, in the 16 years, that I've been doing this, the uses of silver have just continued to grow and grow. And I think, you see a shortage for 5 years in a row, you see the usage go up. It, obviously leads to the price going up, and listen, it took a while. It took a while. People weren't happy, but I think patient money, typically wins. Yeah. It's the Warren Buffett approach. Like, it doesn't matter what the market, if it's undervalued at the time you buy it, it will correct. And I think that's what's been happening with silver.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
And it's starting to find its true value here, right? If you were to tell me a couple years ago we'd see gold at just under 3,500 and we'd see silver at around 30, I would have said you're crazy. It has to be over $50 for gold to hit 3,500. Yeah. And it looks like we're going to be, we're pushing 40 now, and 50 for folks out there who don't know, that's a big number for silver because that's its all-time high.
Right.
So it hit 50 back in 81 and back in 2011.
Right here in my hand is a gold bar that is worth more than it costs to send your kid to college. And in 10 years, this could even double, and the size will remain the same. That's the value of gold. It's money that grows, and it's money you can hold. I'm Colin Plume, the CEO of Noble Gold Investments. And if you want to learn how you can get this delivered to your doorstep, check out our website at noblegoldinvestments.com.
Josh, why do you think the shortage, why hasn't the price exploded despite the deficit?
Well, I would say a 32% increase year to date in the last 6 months is exploding, right? For precious metals historically trade, anywhere from 3 to maybe 7% a year in average times. And right now we're up 32% on silver. We're up 52% on platinum. To me, that's surging. I've been following this market for a long time. Metals are surging when they're up 30%.
Yeah. It's not as much like a crypto or a dollar, a penny stock, or one of those.
This isn't a get rich quick scheme.
You buy it because the downside is typically very low, right? And an asset that has, low downside and a lot of eyeballs typically on it, to get 32% in 6 months, I agree with you. I think that's an explosion. That's an incredible price.
And not just that, the dollar has lost over 10% of its value.
Right.
So you look at the true value of silver, it's up 42%, not 32%.
Right.
Because the US dollar has lost 10% purchasing power this year alone, just in the last 6 months.
Yeah. Okay. What could trigger a sharp move in silver prices? Well, I think a few things. I think a supply shock would be the first thing to do that. We haven't seen, on the physical side, we haven't seen the supply shock happen. Mm-hmm. We haven't seen it where we can't get metals. No. And I think that it could happen. We're waiting for it to happen, but we just haven't seen it happen yet. So I would say that's probably the first thing to happen. Second thing I would say is any kind of global conflict. You would see metals start to take off. And then I think what'll happen is I've been hearing rumors that Jerome Powell may step down and they may bring in somebody new. And in my opinion, if they do bring somebody new, they might be more aggressive with rates. Yep. And if they're more aggressive with rates, I think it would send precious metals skyrocketing, because basically we're just going to create more debt. That's right. And I also think part of the reaction of this current price is a reaction to, this tax bill too, because the tax bill is going to create a lot of debt. And so people that want to protect themselves against debt buy real assets. And so, whatever you believe that the tax bill is going to do in the future, and it hopefully increases our GDP and we have, growth and puts more money in people's pockets, there's no doubting that it will increase the debt, by trillions of dollars. So I think those are part of the reasons that we will see the prices continue to go up. And I think we could see that supply shock, but we haven't seen it happen yet.
And I think part of that too, is the retail demand for silver, right? This is the first year in 2 or 3 years where the retail demand for silver has gone up. It's not negative, which is good. So we're seeing a renewed interest in the average investor with silver. And for a couple of years there, we didn't see much of that when the price was flat. I mean, even at Noble, we're seeing a big upkick in people interested in silver, interested in platinum, especially platinum going up 50%. I can't tell you how many people have been asking about platinum, getting my opinion on platinum.
Sure.
And it's exciting to see.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, for people that have, I always get this, like I missed the boat kind of thing, like this FOMO, especially with gold. But right now with silver, it's a great opportunity to get in. It's at a much lower price than gold is, so it's more attainable. And I do think, I talk about it in my book. I have a price of $58 that I think it's going to hit in the next 2 years. I was predicting high 30s, 40 for silver this year when I released the book in December. So that's just based on demand. That's just really high demand. Now, the nice thing about silver too, because it's a pretty small market, is you can get these fantastic runs. And I've seen silver, I just started in the gold and silver business in 2008. So I saw silver run up from $6 to $50 in at the end of 2011. And it was moving up. I remember days it was up $1.50 in a day. It was just continuing to run because it's a small market, because it's a much smaller market than gold and some of the other bigger markets out there. It can catch on. And then if you see a supply shock, if you see demand really, then it just takes off. It absolutely. And then, we've had stuff like, you've had these traders that have tried to squeeze the big institutions. We saw it with GameStop. And so we saw over one weekend, we saw silver go up $2.50 because they were trying to push the short sellers out of the market. So you have those kind of things happen too. So it's, it's never one thing, right? It's always layered in terms of how things can go. But yeah, a lot of the people that I talk to, even my stock guys, are really bullish on the silver price. And some of them are in silver mines, and then some of them just buy silver. Some of them just buy like the real thing. But ultimately, I think that the consensus is that it's going to be pretty good. And we do have the tariffs coming up. They're going to start August 1st. So you have that situation happening. And then, President Trump is pushing to get interest rates down, which will push the value of the dollar down. And in that theory, then the price of silver should move in opposite way of the dollar. So if the dollar starts to lose value, then you should see things that have a limited supply like silver continue to shoot up in terms of prices. So so it's exciting. It's an exciting time to be in the silver biz.
It really is. It really is. And the feedback that I get from a lot of my clients is how easy it is to barter and trade with. And I do it personally. Like I have my dad's dentist visit tomorrow. And I'm paying the dentist in gold to get his surgery done. The anesthesiologist wouldn't take it. I tried, but my dentist will. So he's getting paid in gold tomorrow.
Why not silver?
Well, because it's a expensive surgery, so
you can't. It'd be too heavy.
No, it's an expensive. He's got to, my dad's 85, so he's got to, get comfortable when they do the dental stuff. So, and it's not cheap to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
So
you just couldn't lift all the silver. It'd be too heavy to lift the silver.
No.
Or do you think that gold's like maybe peaked out a little bit and you want to hold your silver?
Well, if I was bartering right now, I'd much rather barter with gold right now than with silver. Right?
Yeah.
It's I like where gold's at right now. We're $100 away from its all-time high.
Yeah.
So I've been buying gold since it was $1,000 an ounce. So it's nice to see it at pushing 35.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, if anybody wants to learn about how to acquire silver, you can get my book. You can call Noble Gold Investments, call Josh, call anybody there, talk to somebody on the phone, learn about what we do. This is what we do all day, every day. So if you want to go to an expert, call Josh, call our team, learn about silver, learn about what we've been able to do for clients. Clients have done spectacular with us over the last few years. So give us a call, 877-646-5347. We have a silver guide. We have all kinds of information. So just if it's an education time for you, or if you just want to talk to somebody, give us a call, and hope everyone thought that was educational and they learned a lot. Thanks, Josh, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Talk soon.
Prices keep climbing. Groceries, gas, everything.
I know, even with a new administration, fixing policies, keeping the economy in line will take time.
I'm so glad we signed up for Noble Gold Investments Value Lock program.
We tied our savings to gold. It's an asset that keeps pace with inflation. When prices go up, so does gold.
So when we need our cash, the value's still there.
Secure your savings with Noble Gold's Value Lock. Call 877-646-5347 or visit noblegoldinvestments.com.
Hey everybody, Colin Plume, Josh Ward here, talking about something that our clients talk to us a lot about is annuities. It's a financial product. It's you basically give your money to the insurance company. They promise a return in many different ways they can do it. You typically have a lock-in period. There's a number of things that we can get into, but by the time somebody calls us, they pretty much are fed up with their annuity, right? I mean, they don't want anything to do with it, but yeah, in essence, it's an insurance agreement between you and the insurance company, and usually it's some kind of guaranteed return that a lot of times doesn't hit the return.
No.
I mean, I know you talk to people every day.
Yeah.
Like, what do they tell you?
Well, there's, people, there's two types of annuities, right? So there's fixed, which is where you're locked in for a certain amount of years at a certain interest rate. And then there's variable, which are usually tied to the stock market or tied to some other market. So I would say most of the people I talk to are in fixed annuities, where they're getting promised to pay by an insurance company at 5 to 7% over 10 or 15 years. And when interest rates are very low, it seemed attractive to clients that set up those annuities because, hey, interest rates are 1 or 2%. I'm going to get 6 or 7 guaranteed. Sign me up.
Right.
And we didn't have much inflation when they signed up with the annuities.
Right.
Why we're hearing from them now is because they're watching the stock market up 20%. They're watching gold up 30%, silver up 30%, and they're making a measly 5 or 6% in the market.
Right. And they can make 4 in the bank,
and just leaving it in cash,
right,
in a brokerage account,
right,
without any lock-in period or without any prepayment penalties or anything else.
Yeah, and they sell it as predictable income, and they sell it as
let's be honest, it's the stockbrokers that love selling these products.
Oh,
right?
They love this product. Absolutely.
Some inside baseball at annuities, right? There's a big upfront juice that you get when you sell annuities. And you get paid in perpetuity. So you get paid every single year that annuity goes on into the future. So this is a very popular vehicle that a lot of financial advisors like to use because it lines their pockets. Right? It might not be the best for the client, but it's definitely best for the stockbroker.
Yeah.
And I hear this all the time. I mean, clients are always, they get signed up with these promises and all of this. And then by a couple years in, they're calling me to get out of it.
Yeah. What about the variable annuities?
So the variable annuities usually are tied to the stock market, but they have caps. So if the stock market goes up 20%, your annuity is capped at either 12 or 14% or something like that. It's not going to go up as much as the stock market. And it has, certain things in place where if the market goes down, it doesn't go down with the market, right? But you never capture, the full upside. The full upside. Yeah. You're always just getting a piece.
Right.
So it's if you're going to be in the market, be in the market, right? Yeah. And you're paying the fees to the financial advisor.
Yeah.
On an annual basis and up front.
Yeah. It's like it's like being in a hedge fund, but it's worse, right? You never get all the upside. You're paying the similar fees, the 2 and 20, fees that the hedge funds charge.
And the taxes are different too. So it's not just a capital gains tax, it's ordinary income on a lot of annuities. So you can pay up to 38, 39% as opposed to the 20% capital gains tax.
Do annuities protect you from inflation?
Oh, I would argue the different, right? Gold and silver protects you against inflation, right? Annuities is like putting a Band-Aid on a wound, in my opinion.
Yeah, because it's not going to keep up. Especially the fixed ones, they're going to pay a 5 or 6% return. Inflation I think is 7, 8, 9, 10%. So it's never going to keep up. I've seen them a lot for when people inherit money and that there's a young child they'll buy an annuity so they don't have access to it. Basically, they don't blow the money. But I think anybody that knows what's going on, I think in today's world, it's a different thing than it used to be. I think that aren't there lawsuits and regulatory concerns about annuity sales? Yeah, absolutely. A lot of predatory lawsuits happen for annuities. But at the end of the day, they're owned by insurance companies, and insurance companies have heavy, big lobbyists, and I've never seen anything really come out of it because I think most people just don't understand investing too much. And so if a person buys an annuity and they make 5 or 6%, even though they can make much more, it's hard to argue that case because they are making some kind of return, right?
And it's an intangible, right? It's most people, when you're selling a security or it's just zeros on a computer screen. It's not like these gold and silver bars that you get to hold in your hands or hold in a vault in your name, right? It's just zeros on a computer screen.
Yeah. What about bottom line? Are annuities ever a good idea? I think there's some tax situations where there's some ways that you can avoid some tax on annuities that people have talked to me about, but I don't think they outweigh the loss in return. I think there's much better ways to hide money, even real estate. There's depreciation and there's things that get a better, if you kind of dollar cost average the whole thing out. I think the other thing that people get upset about with annuities is there's just no liquidity. And they have these 5-7 year holdout periods where if you take the money too soon, you get penalized. That's the frustrating thing about a lot of these kind of investments is that you're stuck into a situation where you can't move the money. The returns are low.
And the market changes, right? I mean, this is what people, when they signed up for the annuities, when it was 1 or 2%, it seemed like a great deal. Yeah. Now it seems like you're holding on for dear life here. You're holding on by a thread. Yeah. Because you can make 5% almost anywhere.
Yeah. And I've seen surrender penalties of 5-6% on these
all the time. I mean, I've seen them as high as 9 to 12%.
Oh, wow.
I mean, especially if you just signed up for the annuity, right? So if you had the annuity, it's the first year and you want to get out of it, you're paying a much higher penalty than if it's your 5th or 6th or 7th year.
Yeah. Overall, it's a thing that was created in a low interest rate environment, as you said earlier. Maybe at that point it made sense. But if rates are going to stay the way that they are for the foreseeable future, I can't see any reason for anyone to buy this. And if anyone's money's coming due and they want to look at gold or silver, that we do that. A lot of times that, people will call us back, my annuity's coming due in 6 months. I want to get some information. They'll start the process. So that is absolutely something we do. If it's in an IRA, we keep it in an IRA. If it's just cash, you can buy it from us and we can hold the gold and silver or we can ship it to you. So if you're ready, you don't like it, your time is up on the annuity, give us a call. Call Josh.
Stop earning 3%, right? Get yourself some silver and some gold.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nobody ever got rich buying an annuity, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's a really good way to underperform the markets.
Scared money buys annuities as well. I mean, that's kind of, people who don't know how to handle their money or don't know how to be the best advocate for themselves. A lot of the times it's easier to just, I'll make a percentage. I'll do this. I'll do that. Yeah. Right. As opposed to the easiest way is just buy silver, buy gold, buy platinum, right? Silver's up 30% this year. Platinum's up 50% this year. Yeah. Right. You're not going to see those in an annuity.
Yeah. And that it could take you 6 years to get that in an annuity. So yeah, anyone looking to get information, give us a call, Noble Gold Investments, ask for Josh. And just big picture, I think annuities are just a mess. There's a lot better places to put your money. So I would avoid them at all costs.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have one. Do you?
No, I don't. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.